Thank you. I appreciate this opportunity. I appreciate everyone who is attending, and definitely appreciate NewMR for setting this up. And I want to thank all the other panelists, not just for being on this panel, but then also doing some difficult work. This is the second or third time in my career that we're pushing something extremely new, and we all know market research does many things. New is not one of them. So as people who work in video day in, day out, I can appreciate how much effort goes into the daily sort of questions. And I think the questions so far have been pretty light compared to the questions we hear from our customers. So I'm happy to take on some harder questions now and later on in the presentation. We are coming at video in many ways similar to the other companies, but in one crucial way different. Similar in that we definitely believe that video captures what other methodologies miss. And behavior science is no longer a buzzword, it's reality. And video is needed if behavior science is going to become a reality. Now, we also believe in one more thing, which is that video is the future of online surveys. They're not going to replace online surveys. So market research has always followed consumer communication. When people talk face-to-face, surveys were face-to-face, and so on and so forth. Today, we are engaging with the internet in video format. Surveys will be in video format, and that's a big deal because the survey sizes have to go from 0 to 20 to 50 to 100, 200. We do work in the 200 to 2000 N size range on video only. So that's a mouthful, and that's been sort of the biggest achievement of date in terms of our technology development is the ability to go that quantitative for the same time and price, pretty much as you would do an online survey. And with that, you get the benefit of metrics. So I'll skip a couple of slides because these points have been made over and over again, and jump right into this question of why video has not scaled, right? And I know everyone here is trying to get that done. I think there's a question of platform. How do you get 100, 200, 500 videos per project, and how do you convert that into data, which many people have addressed here, and I will as well. But then there's a second question of metrics. If you look at survey-based research, PI scores, awareness, these are all metrics that are ingrained in the researcher's mind. So if I say that your PI score is XYZ, people understand what that means. If I say that awareness for the new, Diet Coke with cherry is 67%, people understand what it means. These are all metrics derived from traditional online techniques. Video has no consistent metrics that are being derived today. And that's, I think, a big area that we are trying to influence the industry to change. And you'll see an example of that. So 3 easy steps to scaling, right? First is use video to record an actual thing. In this case, the thing is a transaction. The transaction is a person making a decision in store. So I talked a little bit about scale and our investment that we have made. We have an app, GPS enabled. We can use social media globally, which we do, to get the app on people's phones. You're walking in the store at Walmart. We say, hey, Ray, looks like you're walking into Walmart. Answer 3 questions to see if you can make a couple of bucks. One, will be demographic questions. One of them will be a shopping list, or you can take a picture of your shopping list. If we see that you're looking to buy a cracker or a salty snack, we'll give you very simple instructions. Record your decision making, point the camera towards the aisle, not your face. Show us your options, show us what you're buying, tell us why. The compensation is decoupled from the final decision. It doesn't matter whether you buy something, don't buy something. It doesn't matter if the camera is shaky or not. All of those things we take on our hard work to kind of fix. Based on that one very clear, natural transaction, not a shop along, not a research. I'm not asking Ray to recreate something he normally does, but like everyone said, 30 seconds, 1 minute has a lot of insight. In our case, some of these videos are 10 seconds, 20 seconds, but our technology picks up every single brand that was available to this person. It picks up what the price points were. It picks up what Ray noticed, what Ray picked up, what he put back, and what he decided to cart. And then we use Nielsen data to match carting from our system to household penetration to make sure that we're not giving our clients a whole bunch of false positives. So for the first time, we're actually able to give clients relevant metrics because we are capturing these transactions and we are capturing them at scale, right? So, which is kind of step 2, right? So code for relevant observations and not ethnography. And a lot of people on this call have talked about that. Ethnography is sort of the traditional use of video. Someone highly qualified watches these videos and says, I think XYZ may be going on. Now let's do a quant survey to validate. What we are saying is the example I gave you earlier, which was in store, we were coding just very few things. What did they notice? What did they pick up? What did they cart? In addition to that, our system also captures sound. So once someone says, there's no way I'm paying $2 extra for Diet Coke with cherry, we'll pick that up, right? So we can still give you those reasons. You multiply that across 500 people on a per project basis. We can tell you very clearly why something worked, something didn't work. So, but even when you're talking about at-home videos, you're talking about product usage, restaurant videos, any way you take the video, don't code those videos for everything that's in the video. Take the 2 or 3 things you need, discard the rest. And that is very, very important to scaling. Otherwise, you don't have enough people, enough manpower, enough MIT algorithms in the world to try and extract so much intelligence out of that video, right? So our belief is very short videos, very to the point of what you're trying to learn. Pick up metrics from those videos that are relevant to the project, discard everything else. And in this case, we're showing you some facial coding. This was some research we were doing for test drives. You know, you have a camera and a test drive, it records the face, and it only records 3 things. How much did this person smile? The eyebrows is one more thing. That's not our algorithm, that's the client's algorithm. But the point is that we took those like a few thousand videos, we recorded for those 3 things, and then they got some relevant metric out of that. That metric then becomes repeatable. Okay. So step 3 is by doing step 1, step 2, you're going to save a bunch of money, increase the quant sizes. And just like you would with online surveys, online testing, we can't convince the industry to switch to video with N size of 50 to 100. Believe me, we have tried. As soon as we upgraded our system to N sizes of 150 and beyond, all of a sudden, from Nestle to Campbell's to Colgate, everyone's interested. Now, routinely, we are doing 400 or 500 N sizes. They feel comfortable. They get their subgroup cuts. They get this, they get that. So people aren't, market researchers aren't going to take the leap into video as a replacement for what they're doing today if the N sizes remain 20 to 50. They can augment, right, what they're doing today. And Ipsos mentioned that as well. So getting that scale up is really, really important, which is why our investment has been to try and capture people just in the moment. And then the back end is if you're just looking for a few things, then you can use technology. You don't have to use people, right? So if you're just looking to see what was noticed on shelf, what was touched, what was picked up, that becomes a much easier problem for algorithms to solve than sort of this more holistic that what was her experience when she was shaving her legs. That is an extremely complicated technical challenge to put through technology. So you have to have people to interpret that. Now, nothing wrong with having people. So I just want to make sure that people don't think that I'm 100% for technology. You know, the running joke in our company is that I is better than AI, and we are the I. So intelligence, right? Human intelligence is still far, far superior to artificial intelligence when it comes to market research. R is much better than VR. So virtual reality is another booming word in market research. But essentially with video, I think all of us are saying is that reality can be accessed. You don't have to make it virtual because it's hard to get to reality. So, in the limited time that I have, those are the sort of high level things I can share. Now, I'll show you one case study of how we use this for a real brand, but the metrics have to perform on 4 measures for clients to adopt. One is they have to be unique. So don't give me something I already get from Nielsen, any of these other guys, right? Second is make it believable so that you have to show me validation. If you come back and say that I can tell you X% of people noticed your brand, show me how you know, right? The third, probably the most important in all of this, is make it actionable. So you're telling me that there's going to be an earthquake in Antarctica. That's unique, it's believable, great information, doesn't matter to me, right? Now, if you tell me that my brand A has 40% notice, but my brand B has 15% notice, and then the pass is 45% for this category, for this aisle, now you've told me something that brand B is just not getting noticed on shelf. I need to do something, and I can do something to fix it. And then finally, scalable. If you want to work with the bigger players, you have to be global today, right? And you can't come back and say, here's results from one country, one continent. So these are things that researchers have to keep in mind as they think about the bigger picture. So here, as you can appreciate, brands don't allow you to share their data. Charcoal Caps is a smaller brand that did allow us to share for a massive discount, as you can appreciate. But this is really interesting data. And ironically, I think Vox Pop Me was talking about charcoal. But this is activated charcoal used for gas relief. You put it in your stomach and it actually absorbs gas or adsorbs gas. Look up the science. It's very, very interesting. But Charcoal Caps was starting to invest in their business after many years of sort of flat sales. They're seeing a trend with charcoal activated products, so they wanted to invest and be part of that trend. GasX and Beano were the big competitors. Now they hired an agency. The agency came up with lots of different messaging ideas. Typical market research is that you're going to put these messaging ideas through online surveys, through online concept tests. And this is actual results from the online concept tests. And what you'll see is the scores of purchase, top 2 box PI scores, are very, very high, first of all. And everybody knows that these have to be graded down and they have to be normalized, etc. But the thing that always strikes me, and I was in this business, is the PI score for GasX is 39 and 80, top 2 box is 80, Beano is 37.75, and Charcoal Caps is 44 and 86. So Beano is very big, GasX is the giant in this category, and Charcoal Caps does not have 1% market share, right? Yet PI score, if that was to be the indicator of everything, by the way, Charcoal Caps has really good distribution, so it's not like it's not out there. You see that the PI score is not really a very clear indicator of what's going to happen. So what did we do? We found a way to expose these concepts to consumers online. It was plugged into a bigger online survey, so they were kind of exposed to it. Then with a certain period of time, I believe this was 2 weeks out. So 2 weeks is enough time for you to flush your sort of, forward part of the brain, and the concept sticks in the back part of your head somewhere. We then again ping these people who were, in this case, shopping at Walmart, the 600 plus people. So similar instructions I talked about earlier. You're on the parking lot, I send this on your phone beeps. Now, those who were looking to buy gas relief products were asked to make their videos, and then our platform looked at those videos and saw the following data, right? So this is an eye chart, so I'll take it slowly. On the top, the peach color is the PI scores that we saw earlier, so leave that aside. The nail-biter KPIs here were notice, pickup, cart, and conversion. Notice is what percentage notice a product, pickup is they pick it up, cart is that they buy it, conversion is basically of those who notice how many carts, so it's cart divided by notice. There was an unexposed cell. These people were never shown any charcoal caps concepts. 20% of them noticed the charcoal caps brand while making their purchase decision. Now the other cells, 1, 2, 3, 4 cells, current 1, 2, and 5, were all exposed to the new messaging. So right away, their notice rates went up. So this again is proof that this type of methodology works and is more passive. It's not perfectly passive, but it's more passive. The unexposed versus exposed notice rates went up. So advertising does have an impact. But if you notice the pickup and carting rates, they didn't change. So overall, more people noticed, but it didn't end up resulting in a bigger purchase. The 4 and 5% are not statistically different from each other. So the conversion rates actually went down a little bit. So again, it kind of reinforces that advertising or one ad can get the product maybe closer to your mind, doesn't always get you to buy the product, right? But now if you notice, GasX and Beano, very high notice rates, very high pickup rates, very high carting rates. GasX had 27%. 27% of all shoppers purchase GasX, right? So what this is telling us is that in-store video metrics are much more sensitive way of understanding shopper behavior. They capture things like the differential between brands because people don't change their habits. It's very important again to capture someone as they are transacting and not having them do a shop along or a hypothetical exercise. And in that case, we were able to give the client these scores. After seeing all of this, the client decided to go with Charcoal Caps Current. That was their current messaging. They had already invested in it at a lower rate for many years. So they felt much more comfortable reinvesting and upping their investment in the current messaging rather than going through the costs of going through production for the new messages, because at least the notice rates would go up and their theory was that over time, carting would follow. And that's again something that we can test for them quarter on quarter. If the KPIs have absolute power, then they should help you make decisions.